Welcome to Kung Fu Fighting number 2. This is my final video for tonight. And this is about martial arts and fighting. Alright, so this video is probably going to be a little longer than it needs to be. So just getting you guys prepared for that. Let me get my little napkin, my Gatorade, and some chips. Because this video is going to be kind of important. Or it's gonna be important to me, rather. Might not be important to y'all, but it's gonna be important to me. Yes, I would love to work for Pringles. Maybe do some kung fu stuff. See the mustache man. I think he might be the son of the Monopoly guy, but he just doesn't have the monocle. That's not a rumor. I'm just like thinking out of my head there. Let's talk martial arts. If you haven't been with me long enough to know this, then congratulations. You're about to learn something about me that I share and probably shouldn't. When I was but a kid, a pure 6-year-old kid, my uncles used to make me fight in street fights. Now, mind you, all but one uncle did this. And all but one or two uncles on my mom's side was in the military. So I got a lot of training, whether I wanted it or not. Now, I got good at it. And then I started learning martial arts. So, by the time I was 9 years old, I was pretty good at hurting people. Pretty good at knowing how to hurt people. And you count it out from the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So from 6 to 12, which technically is only 6 years, I know you counted 7 fingers. But if you take that into consideration, until my dad put a stop to it, and my homework was done, I was fighting. There was no ifs, no ands, no buts. It was, you gonna fight. Now the good news is, it really depended on the day of the week. Rarely did I fight on school days. And a lot of weekends. A couple of victims. No. I have reached out to people that I can remember that I fought. But one guy specifically who told me if I said I was sorry one more time, he'd shoot me. So, salute to him, because forgiveness is golden. He forgave me, I never forgiven myself. Now let me break it down to why I'm making this video. If I'm telling you something about martial arts, it's because of my experience. Not everybody's experience is going to be the same. Now, if you ain't up to speed on what's been going on in my life, I have a couple of nephews who got bigger than their britches. I had to verbally tell them, it's not going to work out the way you think. I have a nephew who's currently still doing this shit. And as I told him, as I told his big brother, as I told his cousin, you understand that I've been fighting before your parents was born. How well you think this is going to work out for you? Because how this shit work in your head versus real life ain't going to be the same. And one of them will continue. I've been in more fights. I've been in 5 fights. I said, I know I'm dumb and mad. But you've been in more than 5 fights. And you're 23. Which is like 26 and some change years younger than me, and you think I've only had like maybe 1 or 2 fights when I've been fighting since I was 6 years old until I was 12 years old. Took a 2 year break, and when I was 15, I had to fight for almost a week straight. Then I also got jumped on my job, beat those two. You know, it wasn't like a real beating. It was still, I got the one that grabbed me. The other guy was just talking shit. But yet, you've beaten 5 people. So, I'm going to explain this to everybody who's a martial artist. I'm going to explain this to everybody who's listening. I don't have to beat you to kill you. That is my golden rule. I have to hit you right, which means sternum, throat. Because no matter how big and strong you are, if you can't breathe, you can't hurt me. If I get you right in the throat and I collapse your windpipe, you ain't gonna be doing too much fighting. And you can hang that shit up because you can't breathe. I'm 125 pounds and you're 170. It don't take much for my body to move. Now you gotta talk about some very important shit about martial arts. 1. How's your fucking cardio? 2. Are you tougher or are you stronger? And which one you think is more important? Because these are very important facts, which goes back to I don't have to be able to beat you to kill you. Because a lot of people have always gone around, oh, you think you beat everybody, you think you beat everybody. I'm going to say, well, that depends on the day. I've never thought I could beat everybody. I've always thought that I could kill them because I was trained to do that. I was not trained to beat people. I was trained to kill people. Understand, if I'm going to teach you something, I'm going to teach you something that is not so nice. Alright? Things they don't teach you in martial art class. Punch a motherfucker in the throat. Some teachers may tell you later when you get a belt or whatever. But from the jump, I was taught from 6 years old. You know, hit a motherfucker in the throat. And that was before I even took martial arts. Hit a motherfucker in the throat. You break his goddamn neck with one hit, it's a done deal. And you can't hit the throat, hit the sternum. By the time I got into the 9th grade and was working at Kegler's, technically it was the 10th grade because I was going into the 10th grade, I was taught by a Green Beret how to fuck people up. So, you know, nephews wanting to fight me and shit. And I was like, dude, this is not going to work out the way you think. I'm bigger than you. I'm tougher than you. I'm stronger than you. Check. You bigger. Check. You stronger. You ain't tougher. I promise you, you ain't tougher. You know? And this is the thing where people are going to give me shit and they're going to weigh the pros and cons. Are you tougher or are you stronger? And I'm going to tell you this, and I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. I'm going to tell you the truth. It is way better to be tougher than it is to be stronger. Physical strength does give out. Physical toughness is your durability and how hard you can take a hit and keep coming. If I take your best shot and you're 6'3" and I get back up without a fucking, like, I ain't even got to shake my head, you got problems. You got 125 pounds of fucking problem. You know? Especially if you hit me straight and it's like boom and I barely jacked my head, but that's everything you had in that punch. You got problems. Now here's the thing. There are many aspects to fighting. And I'm pretty sure these internet martial artists aren't going to tell you there are many aspects to fighting. I'm short. I know where my range is. I have to control your range better than I can control my own. I need to be able to get in because my arms are not long. My legs are not long. They work very well if I can get past your defenses. That's where the problem lies. How good is your defenses? How good is my defenses? This is how fighting works. You know, no one's going to sit there and let me beat their ass. And I damn sure ain't going to stand there and let them beat mine. No. I mean, damn, I'm not that damn stupid. And the thing that they don't tell you about fighting, just because you are a bigger opponent doesn't guarantee you a victory. A lot of people who believe the size matters Three things going for them. One, they've never fought somebody as small as me. Two, they've only fought people their size. And three, most important one of all, they may have not fought somebody who could fight. This is something else you have to understand. Fighting an average person, because martial arts is mediocre at best, doesn't mean that you can beat their ass. It just means that motherfucker has to work. And when I say that, somehow it gets lost in translation. I've never figured out how me having to put it in doesn't translate. I'm not going to outbox you because I'm not a boxer. We get in the boxing ring, you got me dead to rights. Because you know that ring, in and out. You that motherfucker from pillar to post. If I'm going to get in a wrestling ring with a professional wrestler, you got me dead to rights. Just like the boxer. You know that wrestling ring, backwards and forwards, got me dead to rights. You know how hard it is when you take a bump. Me not being a professional wrestler, one bump might end my shit. So, we get in the wrestling ring. It's easy to watch that shit on TV. It's easy to emulate it. But if you ain't doing it all the time, you get fucked up. Now, like I said, I'm gonna give you. You don't know if I have professional wrestling training or not. I will tell you that I don't. But I will also tell you I had backyard wrestling training before it was a thing. I know you're all thinking, what? I can almost guarantee you, anybody who grew up watching the NWA, with Chief Wahoo McDaniel, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Wreck-It Ronnie Garvin, Sting, Ric Flair, the Four Horsemen, before it became WCW when it was NWA. If you were a kid that grew up in West Haven in the projects, we wrestled. We probably wrestled each other. I know 4 kids that will never forget that we wrestled. And I told y'all this story about how I got to fighting in 1 week minus Wednesday with 2 people from the same family, and he got an iron pipe and I got an iron pipe and he got the stick. And I was like, okay, you get to hit me first. We body slammed each other on those pissy mattresses, and sometimes we didn't get the mattress. Sometimes we got the fucking ground. I'm the only one who generally got right the fuck back up and said, let's do it again. Because I live for that shit. It's the same thing with fighting. My nephews and them, they beat the hell out of me in boxing. All 3 of them. A 17-year-old one, his older brother who passed, and the cousin that has been giving me fucking shit. Beat the hell out of me in boxing. But they can't go another round. They be, I'm tired. I was like, no. I'm just getting started. It's like, man, you old as dirt. How you keep coming? I said, and this is how you know I'm going to be able to beat you. Because I live for this shit. I do not stop. You have to kill me to stop me. And that's the part that they don't get. You would think as young as they are and as healthy as they are, I would be gassed first. But I've been doing this shit for a long fucking time. I know how my body works. I don't get gassed like talking about it. No. If we training, I'm going to run you through the fucking ringer. And you either going to make it or you're not. You can't go two hours with me training. And that's just a warm-up before we really start training. You know, like if we doing push-ups and setups, I'm going to take it easy on you. Because I'm going to need you at full capacity when it comes down to when we start sparring. When we start sparring, your training has begun. So let's say we do an hour exercise, little jumping jacks, jog around the block. Now I said jog, not run. I understand how this works. And then we do some more push-ups. Now you tired. You don't want to spar. You ain't ready to fight nobody like me then. Because you don't know how this shit works. Let's do it another way. Let's say we spar first. And then we go do the other shit. If you done at sparring, you done, period. Which again means you're not going to be able to fight somebody like me. It's just not going to fucking happen. It would be bad for you to engage in fisticuffs with someone who does not mind getting hit. It would be bad for you to engage in fisticuffs with someone who don't need a sip of water after the first round. Alright? And that's where people get fucked up. Each one of my nephews that I mentioned. My oldest nephew that passed away in a motorcycle accident, good kid, had no cardio, smoked weed, drank a little bit. The youngest one, who don't do none of that to my knowledge, who's 17, his younger brother, ain't got no cardio, and he played fucking sports for high school. It's like, how do you keep going? Is it because I have the desire to fight? I don't have the desire to win. I have the desire to eliminate your shit, like kill you. But because we family, I'm not going to take it that far. But understand something. The fight ain't over until I stop moving. If I'm still able to breathe, I'm going to fight you till the end. One of us is going to go down, and it's not going to be me. Because again, I live for this shit. It's hard to fight somebody. Like, if wrestling was my professional career, which sadly it couldn't be because I kept being told I was too short, I was too short, I was too short. So I never went after it because I kept being told I was too short. MMA I didn't go after UFC pretty much told me gain weight, and then there's an MMA gym here, and I had a friend who fought in a cage and told me you would be good at it. And I said, alright, cool. What do I need to do? He's like, alright, well, there's some things you can't do. I was like, what the fuck you mean there's some things I can't do? It's mixed martial arts. He said, well, you can't punch people in the throat. You can't knee people in the gut. And not just the gut, but the sternum part. It's like, so you taking out all of my devastational moves. You can't break people's arms and elbows on purpose or their kneecaps. I was like, dude, it is a fight. It's like, no, it is a sport. And you fight. It's not a sport. Yeah, I was like, how many rounds you got? You got 3 5-minute rounds. Alright, so technically still a sport. I said, and you, James, calling you by my first name, he said, motherfucker, you don't know how to stop. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, motherfucker, if they don't kill you, they can't stop you. And this is my boy CLS, so shout out to CLS. And I was like, so you saying, can I elbow people in the face, in the forearm? He's like, yeah, they don't really recommend that because elbows cut people. I said, but when you get in that ring, it's just you and that other guy. You gotta know the rules going in. I can't forearm people. I can't elbow them. I said, can I spring off the cage? Like, you ain't supposed to be able to spring off the cage, but people do it all the time. I was like, well, then I'm down. He's like, nah, because you're going to kill somebody. I was like, damn, man, you got a little bit more faith in me? He said, no, that's the problem. I know you're going to wind up killing somebody. They hit you the wrong way. You pop back into reality and realize what the hell happened. Yeah, it's a done deal. He said, you're not allowed to break people. You're not allowed to headbutt people. You're not allowed. I was like, but it's MMA. He said, yeah, but they have rules. I was like, alright, so I never continued to pursue it. Wound up having a girlfriend, wound up breaking up with a girlfriend, wound up going to the army, wound up learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and learning that I suck at it. Doesn't mean I can't beat your ass just because you have a belt. Alright? Which is another thing. Every dojo I've ever been in, I've always asked if I could fight for my belt, and they've always given me the finger. And I know that it is not an element of martial arts, but when you're done watching this, ask yourself if you've taken a martial art. Have you been in a situation where you need to use that shit, but you're too scared to use it because you don't know if the shit's gonna work? Because if your answer is yes, now you know why you should fight for your belts. Alright? Because here's the thing. When I tell you about that fight that I got in for the whole week. I was only scared in one fight, and that was the last one. When I went to Smithfield that same summer and got to fighting with the boy named Corey in boxing, and he was whooping my motherfucking ass. And I mean, he outboxed the shit out of me. He was just beating the shit out of me, but he could not knock me the fuck out. And the harder he tried, the stronger I got, and the madder I got. And he just couldn't beat my ass. He also didn't have any cardio. Well, I had plenty of cardio, because at that time I was like 115, 120. I'm down for getting my ass beat. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not Bruce Lee. But I like fighting. It's just that damn simple. And when I was getting ready to fuck him up, my dad jumped out my shit. Like I said, I just have to work harder to hurt you. I do not have to beat you. I'm trying to kill you. I fight to survive. I don't fight for no fucking damn bullshit prize and none of that shit. This is also why I said when you are in a dojo, you ask everybody in that dojo, come hella high water, regardless of their size, if you can spar with them, because it will teach you how to fight people of different shapes and sizes. Weight class only works in professional fighting. I'm not going to tell y'all that anymore. I probably will tell you more, but, you know, if you're watching, like I tell people in real life, your weight class only count in professional fighting. When you out in the street and somebody 6'4" tries to grab you by your motherfucking neck, the last thing you thinking about is, oh, he's not going to fight me because I'm not in his weight class. No, he's going to murder you because you didn't pay attention to what the fuck I said. Which is why I said, I don't care what any school says, you need to be able to fight for your belt. And I ain't saying you got to go all out, but you need to make sure the shit that you are being taught is going to work. Alright? Now back to my nephews and them. They got no motherfucking cardio. No. You ain't got no cardio. How much you think you're going to be doing? Especially if you can't take me out with one hit. And that's going to be a problem for you. And you may take out anybody at any other given time with one hit. But that depends on if that person can actually fight, if they're the average Joe, if they're mediocre skills, if they ain't got no skills. There's a lot of factors in the fight that a lot of people that you follow on the internet leave the fuck off. And they leave that shit off for a reason, because they know that the truth will make you, I'm not going to watch this motherfucker no more. And also, for most demonstrations and stuff here on the internet, you know that they have to dumb it down. They have to make sure that their partner doesn't get hurt while they're training. And I respect that and all. But in doing so, they also don't tell you why they are doing it. Alright? Let's keep this shit real. If I gotta teach you how to fight, you need to be able to fight when you leave my dojo. Whether you choose to fight for your belt or not, okay. But, like, straight the fuck up. If I'm fighting somebody who's never been in a fight in their life, and I lose, then they got fucking lucky. If I'm fighting somebody who's very skillful, and I lose, they had better skills, they had better knowledge. Hell, I could have been sick, but that's an excuse. No, they just beat my motherfucking ass. It's just that damn simple. They won that motherfucking fight. The same thing when my cousins and them got that little ass hat from New York to come down here and spar with me, and he won. And how they wouldn't leave me alone about the shit. They kept throwing it in my face. So, when I manned up and said, yeah, he won that sparring match, now let's see what you can do. They left me alone after that. Because the truth of the matter is, if you got to go get somebody else to fight your battles, your ass can't fight. Period. And I ain't never had to get nobody else to fight my motherfucking fight. They had to get this guy because he knew martial arts and they didn't. If we'd have never had to need martial arts, they just left me the fuck alone. They didn't want to do that because they was from New York and they want to be badasses. A real badass knows what kind of fight to pick and what kind of fight not to pick. Don't pick a war you can't win. If you don't have any fighting skills, the last thing you want to do is pick a fight with somebody who's in the motherfucking UFC. Or who's the neighborhood tough guy. You don't want to fight that motherfucker. Even if the rumors is true that the motherfucker can't fight his way out of a wet paper bag, you still don't want to take that chance because sometimes the rumors ain't true. Motherfuckers will tell you that shit to goat your ass into an ass whooping, and don't think that it can't happen. I've gotten into a 1 or 2 fights for some shit that didn't even involve me. And one guy chased me around the projects for almost a whole year because certain people wouldn't let us fight. And I told y'all, we met a few years after that because he was dating my cousin. And I asked him about that shit. And then when he told me he was in the projects that day that I destroyed this dude who was 3 times my size, he's like, man, you know, I'm kind of glad I didn't fucking get a hold of you back then. I said, yeah, well, I would have tried to kill you back then, too. I said, because you was after me. I don't even know your mama. Never saw her a day in my life. Why would I be talking about her? No. Come find out whoever started that shit just didn't like me. But they didn't want to fight me, so they figured they'd get their hired gun to do so. And it's the same thing like with my cousins getting a sparring match from New York. And then the funny thing about that asshole from New York was he wouldn't spar me for 2 weeks and a day. You know, and then he wound up going back to New York. Then when my cousin died, he came down to the church, talked all that shit, and I was like, all right, I'm at Rougemont. Come get me. And I came home, changed clothes, got into some fucking shit that I could fight in. This motherfucker never showed up. Because he knew. He woke up a sleeping dragon and he didn't want to deal with it because he couldn't get me back in the cage. And here's that thing about people who fight and people who think they can fight. Alright? We all think we can fight. Let's just put that out there. We all think we can fight. But if you've never been in a fight, don't think that you can fight. Don't think you can fight. You better go get some training before you get into a fight because the world's going to surprise you. And I'm only going to say this once, and I hope y'all listen. The average fight lasts anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes. They rarely go 5 minutes unless it's in a sporting event. If you fighting in the motherfucking streets, nobody's taking your weight class. Nobody's giving you a skill count. Nobody's giving a shit about your reputation because that's where you're building your reputation. No one gives a fuck if you think you can fight. The only thing they're going to do is gather around and see who's going to get their ass kicked. That's it. And if you're the victor, everybody's going to cheer you on. If they like you. If they don't like you, they're not going to cheer you. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker, man. How you beat this motherfucker? I've been the underdog all my damn life. I've lost mad sparring matches. But I've never lost a real fight outside of the times that my big sister used to beat my ass. That's why I'm tough as nails. I've been dragged down the steps by my motherfucking ankle. So trust me when I tell you, I'm tougher than I look. And the thing is, I'm glad all that happened. Because then I knew I could take a beating. Knowing what I can take, knowing what I can do is very important. Knowing what you can take and knowing what you can do is very important. If you've never been on the receiving end of an ass whooping, then I'm going to tell you one thing for sure. You've been very, very blessed. If you've been on the receiving end of an ass whooping, you've also been blessed. You know why you've been blessed? Because it taught you something. Now, for those people who've never lost a fight in their life, the question is really simple. Are you fighting people who can fight? Or are you fighting people who can't fight? Are you fighting people that you just snuffed? Now, I've been sucker punched before. He was skipping. I was driving a stolen van, but it belonged to his dad, and he skipped right up and stole me. Other than that, every fight I've been in has been a head-on fight. It's never been like caught off guard shit. That caught me off guard because I'd never seen a grown black man skip to a fight before. When he was skipping like some Tinkerbell shit, the last thing on my mind was this motherfucker was gonna tag me in the face. The last fucking thing on my mind. I'm driving, because I almost hit him with the van. Skip right around there, and I'm looking at him skip. That's what made it so bad. I literally watched him skip all the way over, and I turned to my cousin to ask who this dude, and he stole me right in the face before I could finish. And I was like, I know this mother. Bam! He stole me again. And the only thing I could think was, I'm gonna get out this van, and I'm gonna kill this motherfucker, because he don't know who the fuck he fucking with. And that seatbelt saved his life. I couldn't get out that motherfucker. I'm just fucking struggling, boy. Struggling. I'm pushing both of the releases in. I couldn't get out. My cousin had jumped out the car because I took the beating that was meant for him. Cops rustled him around. He broke his hand on my face. Then the 400-pound plus cop sat on me, put his arm under my forehead. My left hand's on his gun. And he's like, I got you, son. And I'm like, my hand is on your gun, sir. If I want you, you can die right now. Because my hand is on your fucking trigger wall. In fact, it's my pinky. All I gotta do is squeeze. But I don't want you. I want that son bitch just broke my glass and cut my eye. So he got me out and told me what was going on. I gave him my arms, put him in the bracelets. It won't nothing more to that other than the canine cop. Thank you, sir, wherever you are, that got me out of it. The canine cop knew I knew martial arts because the night they busted the house, I happened to be training outside before they arrived. I seen the cops drive through. I wasn't thinking nothing about this shit. And I went in the house and like, yo, anybody that's doing anything, y'all might want to get rid of it. Because I just seen like 4 cops drive through. And one happened to be the canine cop. But we didn't know what the hell they was coming back because they came back from both sides of the street. They percussion bombed the damn house next door. And we was all like, what the fuck? And they came through our backyard. I was like, what the hell's going on? And so I kept everything as peaceful as I could, trying to keep everybody calm. That's what kind of saved my ass. So that night I won't calm because I'm bleeding out my motherfucking eye. And the big brother, the guy, he's talking mad shit to me. He's like, dude, you don't know who the fuck I am. He said, you can't do shit to me, you handcuffed. I said, these is fucking weapons. All I gotta do is get over top of your back goddamn neck. Put my knees in your back. I'm gonna fuck your shit up. That's by the time the canine cop came around and said, James, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up right now. You're not going to jail tonight. Shut the fuck up. And so when the other officer came and said, get him out of them handcuffs because I know this kid. This kid don't do shit but go to school and go to work. And you probably should take them handcuffs off of him because he does know how to use them as weapons. So, it wasn't no thing. And I'm sitting there just waiting for the cops to talk to me and shit. And then they came over to me after talking to the big guy who was running his mouth. And they talked to the brother because he was still in the police car. Talked to my cousin who was lying out of his goddamn both sides of his face. And come talk to me and say, hey, look, man, I was watching SmackDown. I wasn't supposed to come here and get the SmackDown. My cousin was driving drunk. He almost crashed into 2 bus stops. That's why I was behind the wheel. Other than that, I have no idea who these fucking dudes are. I've never seen them before, and they better hope like fuck I don't see them again. And if we go to jail tonight, I promise you, I'm going for murder. Because I'm going to kill all 3 of these motherfuckers. And say, especially my cousin. Because he set me up. But karma don't forget an address. And my cousin has had problems ever since. But it is what it is. Now, back to the thing, When I came home from that fight with the Corey boy in boxing, I had to choke a dude out in the park 3 times. And he was bigger than me. And this is what I tell people all the time. If you think your size is a factor in a fight, it's only a factor if you are, like, solidly swole and big enough to intimidate somebody. I'm a little guy. You're not going to intimidate me. You might put a little fear of God into me just for about, like, 5 seconds. And that whole little time, I'm trying to scan your body and see how muscular you are so I will know exactly where to hit you at. All right? It's not like I'm programming my brain, because my brain has already told me, all right, the bigger this motherfucker is, I know I'm going to have to work. I know I can take him because he's just bigger than me. The only difference between me and somebody bigger than me is just that. They're bigger than me. If that motherfucker ain't been through the shit I've been through and ain't been fighting since they was 6 years old, it ain't going to take that long. I just got to get through their motherfucking defenses to hit them in their sternum or their throat. And a lot of people, when y'all take boxing lessons and fighting lessons, they always tell you hit the head and the body will fall, or hit the body and the head will fall. But the thing is, they don't teach you that there are other things at work that happen in a fight. In that boxing ring, you got your gloves, you got your mouthpiece, you got your wit and your training. That's it. In that street, you don't have your gloves. You don't have your mouthpiece. And if you ain't got no wit, you going to wind up witting on the motherfucking street. Again, shit they leave off. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because when people think that they can fight, and they think they can beat your ass just by how you look, they done broke the first rule of engagement. I underestimated my opponent. You know how many times that people have underestimated me and found out, oh, Echo Fang Great Wolf actually might have a little bit of fight to him. Everybody that I have sparred with, whether it be family or anybody in the dojo, be like, look, man, I'm tired. I can't keep going. And I'm like, oh no, we're not done yet. We're not done. Even on my worst days, I'm still ready to go. I find another gear. And they were like, well, how do you do this? I said, because this is my life. Martial arts and fighting is what I do. It's got nothing to do with anything other. There's no magic bullet. There's no pill. There's no magic juice that I drink. I live for this shit. When I'm fighting somebody taller, I know I gotta fight range first. And the reason why I gotta fight range first is because I'm small. A lot of people who are in martial arts don't even know what the fuck I mean when I say range fighting. Alright? So, for instance, if I'm 5'4", well, no, let's go with my real height. I'm 5'3". Take away the half. I'm 5'3", and you're 5'8". And we're in a professional fight, either a taekwondo tournament or a professional fight where everything is done with points, right? In a point system, if you just keep extending and pushing me off every time you kick me in the chest, you're not even really putting nothing behind it other than just enough pressure to let me know I've been hit. You know, boop, boop. That's range fighting. You use your legs, you know, you stuck it all the way out. You're keeping me at bay. And every time you hit me, it's a point. So if we going by points, I'm going to lose that bitch until I get a point. And I'm never going to get a point if you're 5'7" and I'm 5'3", and you just keep using legs to keep me at bay. You don't even got to work that hard. You know? You ain't got to get in a turnbuckle. You just keep pushing me off all day. Same thing with taekwondo. You don't have to do any of the fancy shit. Just keep pushing me off with a push kick, because you're going to get points. And every time you score a point. You know? Now, if it's like in a UFC and there's still a point system, and you just push me off all damn day, neither one of us is really going to get hurt. My pride going to get hurt, because you know how to range fight, and you're going to keep pushing me. As long as you're pushing me, I can't get a hit in. Now, at some point, when we get to round 2, you got to change that game up, because I done figured out your fucking shit, you know? So now when you go to kick and push me in the chest, and I bat that bitch away, and I finally tag your shit, I might only need that tag. You might have a glass jaw. That might put your ass to sleep. Because see, now you understand how range fighting works. Because I understand how range fighting works. I know I'm short. I have to control your range, plus my range, plus my speed. I have to dodge your range, plus your size, plus your strength, plus your speed. Now, if you fast and you tall, I might not be able to get away from all that shit. But if you're a range fighter and you fast and you tall, you ain't gotta let me get nowhere near you. You can push me off with your feet all fucking day long and keep the fight going. No, because if it's in a point system and you pushing me off with your feet, I'm never gonna get a point. No. Now, on the other hand, if I know what the fuck I'm doing, and you pushing me off, you might get like 1 or 3 points in that first couple of kicks, but we still got 2.5 minutes for me to catch in. I might be able to block that second kick and tag your shit. You know, if I can tag your shit, and if you go down, then I got you. I can ground and pound just like the rest of them. I'm not really big on ground and pound, but you know, it can be done. So you have to understand how fighting works. You have to understand how the human body works. So don't think just because you've beaten quite a few people that you are a good fighter. You could have gotten lucky every fucking time. Every fucking time. Now, on the other hand, I don't say I ain't never got lucky. I do say that it's a combo of luck and skill. And the last story I had when I moved over here, I didn't get into a physical altercation, but I got into a verbal altercation, which pretty much would have got physical, except for the person who was like threatening me. I straight told him a true fact, because he was known for knocking out grown people. I mean, he literally had a reputation for knocking out grown people, and him and I was about the same age. So he thought that I was trying to take his girlfriend. I hadn't been in the neighborhood more than like maybe 6 months to a year, if that. Maybe 2 years at best. And he's like, yeah, heard you been looking at my girlfriend. I was like, dude, it's a girl. I'm gonna look at your girlfriend. So what you want? He said, well, I'm gonna beat your ass. You know who I am. you do know who I am, right? And I was like, yeah, I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. You're that guy that's famous for knocking out like 3 grown people. It's like, yeah, and I'm going to knock you out. And I said, okay, well, let me explain this to you, because I had a bottle of Pepsi or Coke in my hand. I'm pretty sure it was Pepsi. It might have been a Coke. I don't remember. But I know I got out of the cab station because it's happening in front of the cab station on 6th Street in Palatine. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine and dandy. I'm gonna kill you. It's like, what? I said, you realize I got a plastic bottle of soda in my hand, right? I said, now, before we do this, I know those people did you fought were grown, and did you knock them out? I said, now the question is, did you sucker punch them? Could they not fight at all? You know, how'd you do it? Because no mere teenager gonna knock out an adult without being, one, very fucking lucky with strength and hitting somebody right. Then yeah, if you hit them right, don't matter how old they are, you hit them right. But if they got fighting experience and you knock them out, yeah, then you might be a bad motherfucker. But if you just knocking out motherfuckers who's never been in a fight a day in their life, and that includes grown people, they might not have saw that shit coming. Did you really win that fight? Or did you get lucky, or did you just cheat? He's like, what you talking about? I was like, well, here's the thing. I've been fighting since I was 6 years old. I don't know you. I don't give a damn. And I'm not trying to take your fucking girlfriend from you. But I do know one or two things gonna happen today. If we are going to fight, I am going to be the last person that you fight. Period. Because I'm gonna take this bottle to your motherfucking ass. I'm gonna beat you with this bottle of Pepsi or Coke, because I don't remember which one it was. But I'm gonna beat you. I'm not beating you to be the guy that knocked out the guy who knocked out grown people. I'm beating you so that I'm gonna survive this shit. So I don't fight for fucking fun. I don't fight because I want to. I fight because I have to. And if I have to fucking kill you today with this bottle of Pepsi or Coke, I'm also going to rob you, because I'm going to take the money out of your pocket to go buy another one, because this is my mama's. And I can't come home without this motherfucking soda for whatever reason she needed. So, what you want to do? I said, you want to fight? Because I'm going to kill you today. I said, I'm not going to fight you to get a victory so your little friend over here, because his friend, his initials is DS, was like goating him on. It's like, you fail to understand something. It's 2 of you is 1 of me. And I got this bottle. See, now, I don't know where y'all grew up at, but I grew up in the projects. We done fought with fucking toothpicks. We done fought with sticks with nails in it. We done fought with broken pop bottles. We done fought with glass plates. We done fought with a lot of shit over in West Haven. This bottle is going to be the tool. It's going to be the difference maker, because you going around knocking out grown-ass men who possibly can fight, possibly can't. But what you're going to do with me is, I'm going to kill you. I'm not going to fight you. I am going to kill you. I am not going to sit here and just let you whoop my ass while I got this motherfucking bottle of Coke or Pepsi. I'm taking this bitch to your ass. I say. And then when I'm done with him, I'm gonna fuck you up, because you goating this shit out. See, this bottle is going to break. And yes, it is plastic. But see, I know something you don't know. Plastic bottles can still cut you. And I'm going to break this bottle on you purposefully so. So when that plastic edge is sharp, I'm going to cut you from one side of your throat to the other. I'm going to stab you in your stomach until I can't. And your little friend there is just going to be shocked. And if he tries to get involved, I'm going to kill him too. So what you want to do? You want to let me go home? Or you want to die there? Yeah, let me go home. Never had another motherfucking problem out the motherfucker. Ever. And that goes back to what I said about when I first moved over here. Back when I was fucking 15, turning 16 or 16. Whatever age I was when I moved over here, I had to choke the guy from the same house that the guy's girlfriend lived in. No. He thought that he could beat my ass because he was bigger than me. He told me to my face, this my block. I run this block. I run everybody on this block. And I looked him dead in the face and said, hey man, you can have the fucking block. As long as you leave me the fuck alone, we ain't got no fucking problems. Don't make me hurt you. He was 2 times my size, not just in height, but in girth. He laughed dead in my face. Don't make me hurt you. I said, motherfucker, you don't know me. You don't fucking know me. I'm a new kid on the block. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know where I came from. And you want to fucking fight me. And when I stepped to the right, he stepped to the left and got in my way. And like a spider monkey, I was on his back with my knees in his back and had him in a chokehold. A rear neck and choke. And I told him, I said, look, it ain't had to come to this. But this is what you fucking wanted. Then when he did it the second time, it didn't have to come to this. Because the first time I did it with my weak arm, having my strong arm under his neck. The second time I did it with my strong arm. And I told him, you know, you just bigger than me. That's just a fucking obstacle. Every fucking body's bigger than me. Your size don't mean shit to me. It might mean something to somebody who can't fight, who's gonna be scared and let you bully the fuck out of them. I've been bullied all my motherfucking life, but it wasn't because I can't fight. It was because I was scared my mama was gonna beat my ass way worse than these guys was gonna do. And when that third time came, and I got him in that cobra crutch, and his head was in here, and I was like, if I push up, if I push down, you're gonna die. I said, it really doesn't matter, you're gonna die. And that was before I got trained by a Green Beret. That's it. It don't take much but 3 pounds of pressure to break the human fucking neck. And I ain't got to be really strong to muster up that 3 pounds of pressure. Just got to have you in the right position. If I got you in the right position, you did. I had him in the right position. Plus, I had my knees in his back. We laid on the ground at that house at the end of the block, and I got my knees in his back. I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill you now. I gave you 3 fucking chances to leave me the fuck alone. That's more than what most people get. But you want to be a badass. And this is what I tell people all the time. Size is an intimidating factor. But size ain't gonna be shit with the outcome of a fight unless you so fucking scared that you just don't fight back. And if you don't fight back, that's on you. Now let's talk the end of this video. Just because you've beaten a few people doesn't always mean you're gonna be a good fighter. If you're going against somebody who's never fought a day in their life, they can get beginner's luck and beat your ass. One hitter quitters do happen. But if you fighting somebody with experience, and you got experience, that's the only time that a fight is going to go more than 3 to 5. That's it. Because most fights don't last but 3 minutes. 5 if they both real good. Also depends on the setting. If we're in a professional settings, yeah, you get 3 5-minute rounds. Most people barely make it through the second round. Watch some of these fights. Most people barely make it through the second round. But those people put that work in that training. If you ain't training every day, I can't train right now because my ankle's fucked up. But from fucking 7 to fucking forever, the only time I really didn't train was when I was in the Army. Because I spent a lot of time on profile and they wouldn't let us do any training other than when we were in GFT. Outside that, no. Now, did I train when we had free time? I sure as fuck did. Anybody ask me any questions? Nope. Most people never saw me training. Because we had to all be outside at the fucking thing when I was in Bravo. We had to be out in the field. And then when I got the Delta, we only did GFT. That's the only time we ever did training. But as a martial artist for so many years, I don't have to train that much. I just like to train because it's part of what I do. But if you ain't no fighter and you ain't been training and fighting, don't just walk up to somebody and think you just gonna whip their ass. It's not gonna fucking happen. If you had like 4 or 5 street fights and you fighting people who actually can fight, yeah, you got some skills. But if you fighting motherfuckers that ain't never been in a fight in their life and you beat their ass, it ain't that you got skills, it's just that they didn't have skills. No. And that's the thing. That's the difference making between being a 6-year-old forced to fight, growing up until you're 12 years old, where your daddy snatches you by the back of your neck and says, if you ever put your hands on somebody else outside of defending yourself, I'll beat you myself. And then A few years later, when your daddy goes, did you volunteer to fight him? Yes. That's your stupidity. Do you know how to box? No. Then why the hell would you volunteer to fight him? Pride, stupidity. They kind of go hand in foot. So when I was boxing the Corey boy down at Smithfield, I was getting my ass beat because my dumb ass thought that I could outfight him. I knew I could outfight him, fight him. I couldn't outbox him because I'd never been in a boxing match a day in my motherfucking life until that day. I learned how to adapt real motherfucking quick though. But I was still getting my ass beat until I got mad and said, shh, off with the gloves. Now we fighting. Fuck the bullshit. Fuck the rules. It's time for you to die. Which is pretty much all I had to say. I was gonna kill that motherfucker right then and there. I ain't give a fuck. Fucking 15, 16. What they gonna do? They send me to juvie for a couple of months. That motherfucker won't ever gonna fucking work no more. I was gonna end his shit. But my dad ended that shit. So get the fuck in the house. And then, you know, you gotta go to your aunt's house every day until we take you back home. No. Same thing with choking out the dude. Same thing with threatening to beat the dude with the fucking bottle. I knew what the fuck I was doing. I knew I could do it. So when I started learning from the Green Beret, I learned how to kill people with a motherfucking spoon and a straw. No. The trick is, to all fights, no matter how good you are, the trick is, how much work do I gotta put in against you? How good is your defenses? If you got good hands and I can't get in, I gotta work. If you got good feet and I can't get in, I gotta work. It's all about you on the other end of that fight. It really is. I know I can fight. Doesn't mean I can win. Just means I know I can fight. When I go in, I don't know if you can fight. I'm gonna find out. No, I'm gonna find out when the fight starts. I'm gonna find out. And people who we follow on the internet, they leave that shit off. 9 times out of 10, unless you follow an ex-UFC fighter or an ex-champion, motherfuckers probably can't fight. Or they haven't been in any street fights. Now, they might have been in the professional setting. When you're in the professional setting, I gotta give you your credit. You're in the professional setting. But you gotta understand, there are a lot of people out there like me who were never given the opportunity to fight professionally. Because we were told, get your weight up. Or we don't have your weight class. Or you're not good enough. How you know I'm not good enough if you won't give me a fucking shot? You know? Look me dead in the face and say, you ain't big enough. So, because I look like I'm weak, you just assuming that I'm a weak motherfucker. That's how the world has been to me for years. It's always been, you ain't good enough. You ain't good enough. You ain't strong enough. Maybe not physically, but up here, I'm stronger than I look. But the thing is, a lot of motherfuckers don't get it. A lot of motherfuckers don't pay attention. A lot of motherfuckers right out the gate think they're badass. The one thing I've never claimed to be is a badass. Now, somebody else says, you're a badass. My answer says, no, I'm not. My answer is, I hold my fucking own. I ain't a badass. The bad don't fuck with me though. But I ain't a badass. There are some genuine badasses out there. I ain't one of them. But I almost guarantee you they're not gonna fuck with me. Because unlike them, they about to beat you. I'm about ending your shit. And when I end your shit, I'm ending it permanently. And I'm not just ending it with you. I'm going after your family and every goddamn body else, because if they come after me, I'm gonna make damn sure they're gonna realize I ain't the one to fuck with. That doesn't make me a badass. That makes me slightly psycho. But I know how it works. You've all seen those movies where little brother get beat up, big brother comes down and beat up the guy that beat up the little brother. No one ever asked if the little brother started the fight. They said, well, you beat up my brother, and now I beat you. Nobody goes, okay, before we do this, what happened with you and my brother? Everybody come in like, oh, you fuck with my brother. And I'm gonna have to fuck your shit up. Sometimes brothers start shit. They don't tell you that. Then you fucking fuck this dude up for no reason. Because your brother can't handle his business. Now you got all kinds of problems. A lot of people start fights. They don't always end well. The one thing I've never done in my life is start a fight. With an exception. My big sister. I started lots of fights with her. But as far as the real world goes, I never walked up to somebody and just started a fight. I have played knock a person out. But again, he started it. Sorry, Bobby. But it's just that thing. Pick your wars carefully. Pick your wars carefully. And you really have to look over your shoulder. And I was talking about this earlier today. And most of the people that I fought have never come back for a rematch. Like ever. In the history of ever. They've never come back for a rematch. I call that a blessing. Straight the fuck up. I call that a blessing. But be careful what you do. Be careful who you fuck with. Because sometimes it will come back to bite you in the ass. I'm still waiting for a few people, just in case. But I ain't worried, you know. I would hope that my skills are still up to par at 49, that I can still handle myself fairly well. Despite the fact I got a sprained ankle and a hip replacement. But other than that, I'm always ready for fights. Even if I ain't got a fucking fighting chance of winning that motherfucker, I'm always ready. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Comfy Habit number 2. Be seeing you.